All right, we look at questions of mathematical literacy grade 10, paper 1. Mathematical literacy grade 10, paper 1. Yeah, out of 50 marks. This was written in June 2024. Okay, they're telling us we should study annexure A and answer the questions that follow. Identify the account number. This is annexure A, and this is how it looks like. So the account number here, it was so straightforward. Shall come and look at account number. So we write this number down. So we shall come this other side, and the number that we saw outside it. The number is 40. Number is 40597573 245. 1.1.2. By when should this account be paid? By when? Now, how do we know when it's supposed to be paid? We look at the word due date. So the due date, and we shall come and write down this number here. So we shall come here, due date, they are telling us the 2nd of July 2024. We are looking for the date. When? This is what told us where or when that you're looking for the date. And they put where, then you would put the place where you're going to pay. This determine the total amount payable. Total amount payable, we are still on this. Total amount payable, it's down here. Amount now payable. So we shall come and write this amount of money. Shall say 760 rands 73 cents. They're asking, was the previous account settled in full? Simply meaning, was it paid fully? Give a reason for your answer. Let's go and analyze the previous account. It's here. Now we have what we call balance carried forward. It was this much. Payments made, they were 400. So this caused this money to come in here, which is the previous invoice overdue. It's this much. So we come there and we say, no. No. There was a balance of 98 rands 64 cents. 64 cents. All right. Why has interest been charged on the account? Why has interest been charged? And on what amount was the interest charged? Now, interest is charged on the balance, the money that you have not paid fully. So interest has been charged on the balance or the outstanding, and what amount was it? Was the interest? So the amount for interest there is showing what amount was charged for interest. We go back to our part and we look for interest. It's this much. So the amount charged, it's this much. It's charged on the balance or the outstanding amount. And how much is charged? It's 1 rand 70 cents, right? So the abbreviation VAT in full. V stands for value. The A stands for added. And the T stands for tax. Arrange all the amounts on the invoice in ascending order. We are looking from the smallest to biggest. Let's go and check on it. So we are going to arrange all the amounts that we see here. Indeed, the amounts are just here, which makes it simple. All right, I'm going to use a certain color here. I need to start with the smallest. So this is the smallest, which is 1. The second smallest is 2. We have a 3 here. 1, 2, 3. 134 times 4. 216 becomes 5. 222 becomes 6. Then 222 becomes 6. Then you go to 6. Then 7 is 400. 498 is another 8. Then we have a 9 here. And we have a 10 here. I'm looking at all values, definitely ending with this. So I'm going to write them in that order. I'll start with 1 rand 70 cents and I will end with 760 rand 73 cents. All right, let me go to my answer sheet now, where I'm answering in ascending order. I'll start with followed by 86, followed by 98,64, followed by 134,87, followed by 216, 93, followed by 222,05. Then we come to 400, followed by 198, 98,64, followed by 622. We continue and we have another 662,09, and finally we end with 760.73 cents. These are the values I see there, and I've arranged them. What is the most important? Arrange from smallest to biggest. One question, question number. Let's look at question number 1.2.2. Are the amounts on the invoice an example of discrete or continuous? The values or the amounts would be the ones that you're seeing there, they are continuous. Why do we say continuous? The reason why we say continuous, because they have commas. They have commas. Question number 2. Kevin needs to travel from his home to his workplace. Take note of this. Whenever you hear such a question, needs to work from his home to his workplace. This means your answers, the final answer is going to be multiplied by 2. Why? The person has to go to work. That's the first route. And from work, they have to come back home. So this is the first route and the second one. That's why you see the answers, we need to multiply them by 2. Because he won't sleep at workplace. He goes for work, he comes back home. He goes back, Okay. Take note of that. Then we go to the Kevin has the following two options. Option number one, Kevin can take a bus to the train station and then take a train to his workplace. The bus fare is 11 rands 50 cents and the train 16 rands. Then we go to option number two. Kevin can drive directly with his car from home to his workplace, and Kevin lives at 30 kilometers from work. That means a day covers 60. He goes with 30, comes back with 30. Then he has calculated the cost per kilometer includes fuel and wear and tear on his car would be 2 rand 25 cents. So the question tells us, define the term tariff. Now, tariff is a charge per unit. How much do you pay per unit? That's what we mean by a charge. Name one advantage of using your own private vehicle instead of a public transport. Number, first and foremost, is what? Convenient. It's convenient. Some people can say it's comfortable. You don't need to rub shoulders with the other people. Number, convenient, comfortable. Number three, it could, it drops you exactly at the workplace. But if you use a train and the bus, that means a train leaves you somewhere, then you need to walk to your workplace. Yes, sir. Then number four, you don't need to work on schedules, transport schedules. Once you're done, you just drive your car, you go home. You don't need to wait for any public transport. All right. 2.1.3. Determine whether it will be cheaper for Kevin to use the bus and the train, which is option one, to get to work or to go using his car. Now, here we need to analyze. What are we going to look at? We need to analyze and we ask ourselves, what are we looking at? First and foremost, you ask yourself, if it's to use a bus and train, how much is he going to use? Let's look at that. So, the bus and the train. Now, we shall have to look at option number one. If it's to use a bus, he will spend 11 rands. Plus, he has to use what? A train. So how much is that? When you add this critically, you end up having 27 rands 50 cents. But I told you it's to and fro. So multiply by 2. You end up having 55. So he has 55. He has to pay 55. Why am I multiplying by 2? I told you he has to go home and come back. Go home, come back. To and fro. It's a full trip. All right, that is it. This is the first one, option number one. Now, option number two. He looked at the distance covered. He pays this per kilometer. Here it says the cost per kilometer. So simply meaning it's 30 times 2.25. 30 times 2.25. You have the answer as 67 rands 50 cents times 2. Look at that. So he has to spend 135 rands a day. So option one is cheaper. Option one is cheaper. Option one is cheaper. 2.1.4. If the train travels a distance of 25 kilometers along the railway lines, how much does it cost to travel per kilometer? Round off your answer to the correct nearest run. Remember, we're looking at the train, the distance covered. How much per kilometer? This per simply means you're going to divide. We are going to divide, but divide what and what? So the rand is the cost divided by the distance. So we need to go and find out. For the train, how much is it? We say they told us the train ticket is 16 rand. So we shall come down here and we say 16 rand divided by the distance, which is 25. You end up having an answer. You have the answer as 64 cents. So they said round off to the nearest rand. So which becomes it's 1 rand per kilometer. Per kilometer. All right. Last week, Thursday, Kevin used his car to travel to the city mall. Kevin was charged 50 rands for parking from 7 past 9 to 5 minutes to 3. 9 hours, 7 minutes to 14 hours, 55. Use the city center mall parking tariff below to determine if he was charged the correct amount. Show all your calculations and give a reason for your answer. Number one, we need to find out how much time did he spend. So how do we find out? We take the time he was last there minus the time when he jumped out. So 55 minus 7, you end up having 55 minus 7, you have 48. Then 14 minus 9, you end up having 5. This is approximately 6 hours. 6 hours, which falls in bracket number. So he was supposed to be charged 25. So they're saying determine if he was charged the correct amount. So we say he was charged a wrong amount. He was charged a wrong amount. He was charged a wrong amount. Was charged the wrong amount. Was supposed to pay 25. First and foremost, you had to look for how much time has he left there. So how much time has he spent? And you come to the table, where does it belong? So they were saying 5 hours to 7 hours, which is 6 hours. So you're supposed to pay 25. Instead, he was charged 50, which is too much. Let's go to the question. Question number 3. Your school will be participating in a 7s rugby tournament. Study the table below on the players' info and answer the questions that follow. Identify the tallest player. So players are 1, 2, 3. So the tallest player is this one. It's determined by the height. This is the largest value. So we shall say player 7. Name one data collection instrument that was used. This was supposed to be a questionnaire. Questionnaire was used. What percentage of boys weighed more than 70 kg? We are saying more than, and we are looking at the percentage. Percentage, we need to have a fraction. Afterwards, we multiply by 100. So we need a numerator and a denominator. So here we are going to put the number of people that we are looking for, those ones who are above 70. So we come here and count. We have 1, 2. Any other? No. So 2 out of how many players? 7. We multiply by 100. So it will be divided by 7 times 100. So we have the answer as 28.57%. Calculate the average mass. Average. Average means mean. We add all the numbers and we divide by 7. So we're going to add, we are looking at the average mass, which is, we're going to add this, add them up. When you add them up, you end up having the answer as 470 kg divided by 7. 470 divided by 7, we end up having the answer as 67.114. Don't forget the units, kilograms. Determine the probability. What is probability? Probability, we say probability will equal to the sample over the population. Determine the probability of randomly selecting a player that weighs less than 65. So the sample are the people who are less than 65. 65 and person who weighs and 65, we have 1 less than 65. So it's only 1. So our sample is 1 out of 7. They are saying they want probability randomly less than. Write your answer to 2 decimal places. I mean, it's supposed to be in a decimal. So 1 over 7, which is 0.2 decimal places. So question number 3.6. Complete the frequency table. The moment you hear frequency table, that means they are. We have tallies to finish. We use tallies to accomplish. So we're going to use the tallies. Allow me use this other table here. Yes, all right. We shall be answering the tariff. Sorry, the tariff, the frequency table. All right. We say numbers between. Let's come here. We are looking at the height because it's what's given on. It's what is given on the. We are looking at the height. We are here. This is the height. Looking at the height. So 1,2 to 1,55. 1,2 to 1,5. We only have 1, which is this one here. You come and draw one stick. Then here you write 1 as in a number. All right, between 1,56 to 1,65. 5, 6 to 1. So we have this. It's 1. 6, 5. We have this. 2. We have that. 3. There's no any other. So here we should have 3 sticks. And here we have number 3. Between 1,66 and 1,85. 1,85, the first one is here. 1. This one is in between. Also we have 1, so also here we have 3 of them. So here we have nothing. And the answer. That's how we fill in the frequency table.